There's a second gauge panel all done. Clean title, never been hit. Nobody will ever know. As well as we gotta replace this seal. It's on the first diff. Well guys, hope everybody's having a good week. We are bare chassing up north. We have like a couple dozen containers that gotta come back down to the railroad in Seattle. So we're staying busy, guys. It's looking good. Past few weeks have been good. Guys, it's been a little bit over a month since I've had this truck. So far, no check engine light. So, but guys, this truck has been just amazing, you know. It's probably the best 15K I have spent. I mean, so far I've done nothing but replace the airline hoses that go to the trailer. And that's it, nothing else. The oil change is coming up soon. Probably have another like 3-4K till I have to do an oil change. But so far, it's paid itself off. You know, in just 1 month, I already made out my money back from this truck, 15K truck. So is it worth it buying a cheap truck like this? I think yes. I mean, if you're starting off especially, I think this is a cheap Volvo. It's probably the best truck you could buy, you know, for just to start off. To not get into payments, because you're starting off, your insurance is going to be high and stuff like that. Our second run already for the day, and the chicken coop is closed again. Hopefully we got to do one more run, third run. Let's hope they stay closed. It's always a good day when they're closed. But yeah guys, this thing is getting 7.8 miles per gallon on the dash, and I like how it has this thing that it came with. 7.52 it says over here miles per gallon on this road relay. This thing is pretty sweet. You could check your sensors and all that stuff. Just bringing all these containers over to the railroad. Go straight right into the rail cart and off to somewhere in the middle of America. I don't think I've shown you guys under the hood of this Volvo. Front steer is pretty much brand new, and lots of new parts, man. Past 2-3 years, you got a new ECU right here. We got a new reman, looks like an air compressor, new power steering pumps, lots of new parts on this thing. If we walk over on that side, one of the most things I was worried about is these Cummins turbos are expensive, but it has been. It's also reman turbo. Over here we got all new AC compressor, alternator. Man, one thing is, guys, I don't know how you work on these guys. How do you guys work on these Volvos? Can't even access the oil filter. On my W9, I was able to walk around the engine. I was basically able to reach the transmission. Half of this engine is under the cab of the truck. Makes it very difficult to work. But yeah guys, I mean, this truck, especially, what's surprising is no oil leaks. So it's a great truck. I think I got a pretty good deal on it. Definitely do not regret buying this thing. It holds air, there's no air leaks or nothing like that. I come back the next day with still 30-40 psi of air in the system, which is pretty good. And it's a 400, but it actually has a 450 tune on it. So it's pretty gutless, pretty weak, but it gets the job done. A lot of you guys asking, why did you sell the W9? You put so much money into it. Guys, I sell my trucks, I don't keep them long, just like my cars. I sold my Silverado after owning it for a year. Picked this thing up. This is also from IA auction. I mean, I rebuilt it. The front end was wrecked. We basically replaced the front. And it's a 650i Beamer. It's pushing, actually. This thing is crazy, guys. This thing is 600 horsepower with the stage 2 tune. And these Beamers, if you guys ever get into Beamers, it is a pain to work on the engine. I mean, there's no room at all on these cars. But yeah, as you guys could tell, there's like no room to work on this engine. There's actually a lot more room now to work on the engine after I built my own intake systems. These intake ducts go to front-facing intakes I got behind the grill. I made that all myself. Also, we got arm downpipes, brand new turbos, injectors, upgraded injectors. Still got to replace these wimpy charge pipes, because this thing is pushing actually 25 pounds of boost now with the upgraded map sensors. So yeah, one day we'll blow it. Maybe if I end up pushing like 800 horsepower with upgraded turbos, we'll see. If I end up blowing it, it's gonna be probably a forged engine build. But yeah guys, I love working on cars, you know, just as much as I like working on trucks. But problem is I don't keep them long. So I don't know how long I'm gonna keep this thing as well. So far it is what it is. Another week guys that we get to work on the W9. We're gonna go ahead and finish off the hood. What I basically did was V-groove the outside now. Since it's now really strong with all the adhesive we applied inside, all I gotta do is apply some more adhesive on the outside, some of that Polyvance Metin adhesive, and then I could probably pretty much fill it in with some epoxy filler and it'll be ready to go. So using our same one, we got the Polyvance Plastifix right here. Polyvance works on Metin, which this is a Metin hood. I'm gonna go ahead and just apply it into our V-groove now. So we got the fender finished, looking pretty good. Clean title, never been hit. Nobody will ever know. But yeah guys, just started prepping, found little gouges here and there, getting rid of those holes because it looks like I'm probably not gonna run those covers. Probably just gonna go ahead and shave those off. But pretty much, hopefully maybe we'll get it painted. Maybe this week, maybe next week, we'll see. I still need to go ahead and get a really good paint match, take a panel over to a body shop, and hopefully they can mix me up some really good paint that can match. But yeah guys, slowly it's getting there. Another thing we got to replace is this coolant filter base. I actually just realized that the part where the filter screws on is completely ripped off with the filter, so we go ahead and bought a new one, as long as a Caterpillar coolant filter. It's the part number for there. Basically got this bracket straightened out and just finishing up bolting on the base. Well, there it is. We got that top bracket, the L bracket, straightened out. New base, new filter. Like always, I ended up buying the wrong fittings. Fittings you actually need is 3/8 NPT to 3/8 hose. I bought 3/8 to 5/8 hose, so we'll have to buy new fittings and replace those later. But at least it's not leaking any coolant. Also got these new cowl panels. Got one side mounted. Of course, we got these gaps right here. We got a whole big order from 4 State Trucks with all the cab panels coming in, 3.5 inch and 3.5 inch for the sleeper, all stainless steel. Can't wait to get those. Everything's on back order. They said about 3 weeks, 4 weeks. So it's definitely gonna be a while till we get the rest of our stainless steel parts, but there it is guys, little by little, we're getting there. We're doing a couple stuff on the Peterbilt. We ended up drilling a couple more holes on the gauge panel. We only had these 3 middle rows and this one was missing. Used a 2-inch hole saw, drilled out a couple more to have that full gauge panel. As well as we gotta replace this seal. It's on the first diff. So we gotta take off this U-joint, and there's a big nut, about 2-inch nut. That way we could replace this seal. Move the drive shaft out the way. It's just 1/2 inch little bolts. I've got to remove this nut right here. It is a 2 1/8 if anybody's needing it. I'll get all that oil. Now get it off, all we use is just a pry bar and it just pops right off the old seal. Basically cleaned off the inner groove right there, and you got to make sure you don't have any rust pitting on the inner seal, inner lip. So what we're going to do is just apply some Permatex gasket maker right on the inside of these seals, because you still have slight pitting on the inside and it could end up leaking. So lightly tap it in. Side. That's it. This thing's ready to go back on. Just like that. And we're gonna put a little bit of Loctite on this nut. Got a couple new lights on the back of the sleeper. Got the 4-inch watermelon adapters with the glass lens. Got a new panel over here on the filters. Just a straight panel with one light on the bottom, as well as one in the front. Just one light. And completely deleted the hood latch. Now it's all the way inside. We also installed the 8-inch stacks. These are the longest ones, the 120s. And next video we probably is gonna be doing the 12 gauge air ride on this thing. And we bought the new 12 gauge kit that they just released. It has one shock mount and it comes with leveling valves. But in order to run this kit, you need to buy the P389 air leaves, the ones that come 1.5 leaves for the factory air ride. They basically made the kit so that if you have the double factory air ride, you remove it and you put the single airbag from 12 gauge. Of course, we got the visor all mounted up. Little by little, this truck is getting there. We also got the new chrome step covers. And these tanks are not polished. This is basically a stainless steel wrap, which is nice because once you polish out the end pieces, it'll match up and you don't ever have to touch that. So I'm actually ended up we're doing the carbon fiber wrap on these panels. After we cut out, we finished off the speedo panel, the cluster panel. Turned out pretty good. Hardest part was the vent and that little vent. There's a 2nd gauge panel all done. Carbon fiber. It's a little bit glossy, but turned out pretty good.